Don't let loyalty morph into prideful boasting, else we be seen as enemies of God. Top of the morning to you. When we read James chapter 4 with the eyes of love and a firm determination to get to know God better, we learn about the origins of strife and trouble in both our lives and our community's life. This is a very on-time word as we see upticks in criminal violence and just plain old neighbor-on-neighbor violence to road rage instances like end up Wild West like shootouts. Where does all this come from? Verse 1 tells us they arise from our sensual desires warring in our bodies. Things like lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and pride of life morph into lust for power, dominion, pleasure, riches, ambition, and revenge. Verse 2 explains you are jealous, you covet what others have, you don't get it, so you become murderers, burning with envy and anger. The end result, you fight in war. It's all unnecessary, though. You do not have because you do not ask. In other words, you're not seeking God and His ways. You're submitted to the world and its ways. Or you do ask God, but you ask with selfish motives, intending to spend it on your sensual pleasures. God sees this as adultery for His people. They are breaking their marriage vow to God by being a friend to the world. Verse 4 says that when that happens, we become an enemy of God. The solution? Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and He will lift you up, James 4:10. Be subject to God by listening and obeying. Resist the devil, and he will flee, verse 7. Come close to God, and He will come close to you. Purify your heart, verse 8. Romans 13:12 tells us to cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. After all, we are but a puff of smoke in comparison to eternity. Don't assume that you will get a tomorrow in which to repent. That is presumptuous. Verse 17 tells us, if you know what to do and you do not do it, it's sin. Word of encouragement. Sometimes our love of country and patriotism and pride can be wrapped up in some of the exact things God tells us to stay away from. While it's good to be loyal to our country, we can't live our lives submitted to its values, especially as they devolve into their current state. God warns us to be humble and submit to His ways, else we will fall into being God's enemy. Have a great day.